Hot take to start. Dallas didn't just ride a roller coaster last year. They built the tracks while the cart was already flying downhill. Finals run, fanbase euphoria, a blockbuster trade that detonated the timeline, an injury gut punch, and now, somehow, Cooper Flagg drops out of the sky like a blueprint for the future. So, does that change the balance of power in the West? Or did the Mavericks just swap one kind of chaos for another? Setting the scene. 10 months ago, it felt simple. Luka and Dallas back on the sport's biggest stage. The vibes were vintage banner chasing with a modern twist. Luka is the next great Mav, the franchise center of gravity, the 10-year window guy. Then February hit like a plot twist you'd call unrealistic if you saw it in a movie. The franchise cornerstone shipped out. What just happened press conference. Players scrolling their phones to learn their fate. Add in a Kyrie injury that rewired the season on the fly, and you get a whiplash year even for the NBA. Now the board looks different. Anthony Davis on max dollars. Kyrie rehabbing. Clay on a value deal trying to turn back time. A front court rotation thicker than a double-stacked pancake. The salary sheet creaking. And Cooper Flagg, 18-year-old phenom, walking in with the promise of two-way stardom. Dallas is suddenly the most fascinating science experiment in the West. Can it work? Yes. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. The fan quake. Dallas didn't just react to the trade. The city had a full emotional meltdown. Memorials at Dirk's statue, placards, chants, security beefed up. You could feel the grief curdle into defiance. If you're wondering whether that kind of pressure bleeds down to the locker room, the answer is always yes. Players feel that heat. Executives feel that heat. And a coaching staff trying to stabilize rotations while the ground shakes under them, they feel it most. Here's the reality under the emotion. Moving a 25-year-old megastar is a one-way door. You don't get to partly trade that guy. Once you choose defense, injury variance, and financial gymnastics over a decade of heliocentric offense, you have to live the next several years with conviction. Dallas did. Now they have to prove they weren't just being brave, they were being right. The AD bet. If you're going to replace a usage monster perimeter engine, you better land a superstar who bends the other end of the floor. Enter Anthony Davis. When he's right, he's a postseason cheat code. Switch, drop, trap, erase. Elbow touches into high-efficiency looks, short roll playmaking, defensive play coverage that turns bad possessions into how did they get out of that? But here's the simple, honest punchline. Availability is the stat that unlocks the rest of them. The Mavericks cap sheet says they're all in on AD's next 24 months. The basketball gods will decide if those 24 months include 140-plus healthy games. Game Plan A has AD logging heavy minutes, captaining a top-tier defense and anchoring the late-game package with Cooper Flagg next to him. Game Plan B has AD missing stretches, the offense grinding into Jumperville, and the margins getting thin in a hurry. Kyrie, the hinge. Kyrie's deal says belief. His knee says patience. That's the dichotomy. With him, Dallas plays with rhythm, pace changes, second-side creation, late-clock wizardry. Without him, you feel the empty calories, decent first options, fewer bailouts, and a whole lot of, somebody, please create a good shot, projected forward. The team that takes the floor before Kyrie returns will be a defense-first, survive, and advance group that wins with physicality and 50-50 balls. The team that takes the floor after Kyrie returns should morph. The ball hums, flag cuts become loud, AD picks turn into pocket pass clinics. Clay's gravity actually matters. If Kyrie looks like himself by late winter, Dallas's final stretch becomes a completely different story. Cooper Flagg's runway. Here's the fun part. Flagg arrives with that rare profile. NBA frame at 18, elite defensive timing, feel beyond his years, and a jumper that's already scoreboard ready from clean feet. The tools scream impact. The tape whispers, future star. What's year one really look like? Expect a lot of winning plays that don't always make the TikTok cut. Backline stunts, switch and slide stops, tip outs to extend possessions, hit ahead passes and opportunistic threes. There'll be nights he looks like he's been in the league for years, and nights he looks 18. Both are normal. Put him next to AD and the floor compresses for opposing offenses. Put him next to Kyrie and the floor opens for him. That's the two-way upside. He makes your ceiling higher and your floor sturdier. If you're hunting early touch points to track, Corner 3 volume, weak side timing is the low man, possession finishing so good work turns into points, and foul rate. If those stabilize by midseason, the leap can come fast. The Klay question. Klay's deal isn't franchise-tilting money, but it's loud when cap flexibility is already whispering. The job description is simple. Hit league average or better from deep on volume. Punish soft closeouts. Don't get hunted mercilessly. And matter in multiple playoff rounds. You're not asking for Game 6 mythos every other week. You're asking for veteran reliability so the kids and the bigs can do the heavy lifting. If Klay stabilizes as a spacer and holds up on bigger wings and cross matches, he's a value. If not, he becomes matching salary in the next move. Too many bigs, or a front court armory. On paper, Dallas is big. AD, Gafford, Lively, Flagg. Add PJ Washington's small ball looks and you've got lineup construction Jenga. The optimist version, you bludgeon teams on the glass, erase rim attempts, and live in the bonus. The pessimist version, spacing is a daily puzzle, transition defense gets stressed, and someone unhappy about minutes becomes a storyline. Expect core packages like smother ball, AD with Flagg up front, PJ at the wing, 2 shooters, switch, swarm, sprint. Bully ball, AD with Gafford, Klay and PJ spacing, downhill guards, pound the paint, live at the line. Run and cut, Flagg with PJ as the front line alongside Kyrie, Klay plus a table setter. Lots of 45 cuts, hammer actions, and flare screen exits for quick threes. If Dallas unlocks a couple of those looks reliably, they can shapeshift series to series. The cap math headache. Let's talk oxygen. The payroll is heavy, which limits quick fixes. You can't shop in the fancy aisle, you hunt edges. That means buy low guards who can manage pace and protect the ball until Kyrie returns. Non-shooting big consolidation if the spacing gets too tight. Pack 2 contracts into 1 rotation lock. Wing minutes discipline so you're not paying premium money to players who overlap without stacking skills. Sneaky lever, PJ Washington's value. He defends across positions, screens, pops, and doesn't need a diet of shots to impact a game. He's useful on any team good. Trading him relieves money, but removes glue. Choose carefully. The point guard patch. Life before Kyrie will look like this. Can someone dribble the ball up, organize a couple of actions, and find shooters without coughing it up? That's the job. The names will swirl, but the profile matters more than the jersey. Low turnover, high assist to turnover, competent point of attack defenders. Even a solid 24 minutes of stability changes fourth quarters. That's the difference between low 20s wins at the midway point and a few more. It sounds small. It isn't. Identity first, standing second. What wins for Dallas between October and January isn't sexy. Top 10 defense, a strong free throw rate, an offense rebounding edge, and turnover suppression. What wins for Dallas after January is synergy. Kyrie's gravity, Flagg's growth, AD's health, Klay's spacing, and a bench unit that doesn't bleed. If you're a schedule watcher, circle the month-plus window after Kyrie's projected return. That's where the offensive rating should lurch upward. That's where Flagg's reads should look faster. That's where AD's on-off split should scream, "We're fine." West power dynamics. Did the needle move? Short answer, the West didn't get a new favorite. It got a new wild card with a sky-high variance band. The top still looks like experience plus continuity. But if Dallas gets a healthy Kyrie, sustained AD availability, and a Flagg who plays like a two-way starter by March, nobody wants them as a lower seed against a higher seed. Not because they're unbeatable, because they're weird in playoff ways. Weird is dangerous in 7 games. Think about the matchups. Against small, switchy teams, punish the glass, live at the rim. Against jumbo front courts, unleash Flagg's mobility and AD's containment, keep the pace up. Against heliocentric guards, trap late clock, live with corner 3 variance, and win the possession count. If the Mavericks split those chess games, they're not just in, they're loud. What could sink it? Here's the short list. Availability. If AD misses long stretches and Kyrie's ramp drags, the offense won't hold. Spacing. Too many non-shooters sharing the floor turns every set into a phone booth. Noise. An early 2-week skid plus trade rumors plus rotation frustration, that's the stuff that flips tight games into losses. What could supercharge it? Here's the counter. Flagg pops early. Efficient catch-and-shoot threes, low foul rate, and a couple of wow defensive plays a night. Clay trends up. Heavy volume threes at league average efficiency opens all the AD Kyrie game. Bench competence. One buy-low guard and one 3-and-D wing play reliable minutes. Those are win swingers. The realistic arc. The first half of the season without Kyrie, grit and grind, a lot of 104 to 101 decisions, probably hovering a couple games under .500 if AD's minutes were managed and Flagg learns on the job. The stretch run with Kyrie, the win pace spikes, close game offense improves, and the defensive identity holds if the guard room can keep the point of attack respectable. That lands Dallas in the mid to high 40s and wins in a West that's flatter than last spring. Translation? Anything from a comfortable 6 seed to a sweaty 8 seed is on the table, with a puncher's chance in one round if the draw is right. Once you're in the bracket with an elite defense, a shot-making savant, a two-way rookie who plays older than his birth certificate, and a superstar big who can own a series, you're officially a problem. The uncomfortable truth, and the exciting one. The uncomfortable truth is that Dallas chose variance. They traded certainty for maybe. They bet on defense, health management, and a teenager with franchise shoulders. The exciting truth is that variance is where dynasties are born, or reborn. If Cooper Flagg is what the believers think he is, the franchise has a new North Star. If AD strings together healthy months, the identity gets real. If Kyrie is Kyrie in money time, all those yeah buts quiet down. So, does Cooper Flagg change the balance of power in the West? Not today. But he changes the math Dallas gets to do for the next 5 years. And in a league where half the teams are capped out and cornered, having new math is everything. What would you do first? Flip a surplus big for guard stability? Or ride the depth and hope the shot creation arrives on schedule? How many wins feel right before Kyrie's return? And what's your uh-oh, they're for real moment? Flagg locking a star wing in crunch time? Or AD Kyrie running a two-man game that looks unfair? Either way, buckle up. Dallas didn't pick a safe path. They picked an interesting one. And interesting has a funny way of becoming dangerous by April.